quite a few years ago, I had signed up to be a camp counselor at Gretna Glen up near Mount Gretna. And I was very excited. It was my first camp counselor experience. And so I was looking forward to it, and looking forward to meeting new kids and having the whole camp experience. Gretna Glen's a great place to have a 1-week vacation. However, my older daughter, who lived in Colorado at the time, was having an emotional meltdown. Her life was just a shambles. She was just a mess, and everything that could go wrong seemed to be going wrong in her life. And she said the only thing that she was hanging on to was the daily phone calls that we were making back and forth. She was just very distraught. And of course, as her mom, I was upset too. I just wanted to jump on a plane and go hug her and tell her things were going to be okay. And so I was really torn. My heart was going in both directions. And so I really struggled with whether I could actually go away, and basically it felt like turning my back on my daughter. But I prayed, and God told me that it was the right thing to do. I had a commitment to these kids, these new little kids that I hadn't even met yet, and so I put her in God's hands. I know He loves her more than I love her, and I know that that He's going to take good care of her. So I packed my bag and went to camp and met these new little kids, and it was great. I did have a little bit of a holdout. My younger daughter went along to camp with me. She was going to be across the lake at the Native American camp. And every day I'd see her at mealtime, and sometimes we'd meet down at the lake, and it was like, yeah, well, I have one that's in crisis, but at least I have this one, and she's right here next to me, and she's with me, and there's a lot of comfort to me. Yeah, I still have a little control. Then one afternoon a thunderstorm came, and it was the thunderstorm to end all thunderstorms. I mean, the water came down, it poured, it thundered, it lightninged, and the water level rose in the lake, and it rose, and it continued to rise until Native American camp was completely marooned from every place else in Gretna Glen, and my daughter was on the other side of the lake, and I couldn't get to her, didn't have a thing, couldn't do anything except say, okay, Lord, I understand I'm not in control of any of these situations, and I accept that. I understand that you're in control. And finally the lake went down, the water receded, and I got to see her again, and everything was fine. And then the camp progressed, and I loved those little kids, and we had a really good time. And on the last day, at the very last moments that I had with them, I was so aware of my prayer was that I would impact their lives, and I had hoped that the whole week that I had shared Jesus with them in a really real way, and so I asked them all to bow their heads, and we prayed, and I asked if anybody wanted to ask Jesus to come into their heart, and all 12 little kids raised their hand, and it was like, thank you, Lord, thank you, because I was able to make a positive impact on those 12 little kids, and I don't know where they are or who they grew up to be, but it was a great experience for me, and I'm happy to say my older daughter weathered her storm. She's fine. My younger daughter weathered her storm, and everything's good.